Hey, this is Chris, obviously. There's a point in this episode where the stream died, so I have to go ahead and grab the audio from the one that you get on Spotify and then pop it into here. So there's going to be a point where the video is going to stop, and I'm going to drop the logo, and there's nothing we can do about it. But I just wanted you to know, and I hope you have a great day. That's it. Enjoy the show.
It's episode 184 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I chose a terrible time to take a sip of water.
You did?
Chris Shriver.
This week we're going to talk about a couple of bite-sized games, a couple of games from a few years ago, and a couple other things. But let's start with some interesting personal news from both Chris and myself.
You can start because I'm not ready.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to announce to everybody, and if you follow me on Twitter at Ribnax, you've already seen it, but I am now officially the drummer and second vocalist for a Houston band called Long Live the Lights.
Yay!
Thank you very much. They are, or I guess we are, on Spotify. There are 3 older songs that are up there that you can go check out. Just search for Long Live the Lights. We're also on TikTok with some teases of a single that we have coming out on July 2nd, which is a really, really fun song. It is called Sirens, and it is one of the songs that the rest of the guys asked me to learn for the audition. And it's really, really good. And there's an acoustic snippet on TikTok. There is also a full kind of teaser for the song on there as well, so you can check that out and enjoy. And because I've already learned 4 more of the songs that we're going to be recording and putting out in the future, I don't know when, I can assure you this stuff it's good. It's really fun, and it's very, very exciting to be working and writing and playing with really talented musicians again.
Cool. I look forward to hearing.
Yeah, I'm
hearing it.
Very excited to hear what comes out of it.
Yeah,
I know it's been a while for you, and how important music is to all 3 of us, really. So I'm very excited for you.
Yeah, if you want a place to start on Spotify, listen to "Voice of Virtue." That's another one of the songs that I auditioned with. So that is definitely one of the ones. And we've got a show early next year. We may have shows in between now and then, but that is a big one at arguably Houston's biggest venue, or one of the biggest.
Nice.
And we are right before the headliner, so it should be pretty sweet. And in between now and then, it's just going to be a lot of cool stuff, building things up. So I'm pretty amped. So
You can tell, your energy is back to the puppy dog way that it was when I first met you all those years ago.
Yeah, I am 100% Mr. Peanut Butter again.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
Mr. Peanut Butter. Okay.
Yeah, from BoJack Horseman. Man.
Yeah, BoJack Horseman.
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
So.
It's basically an anthropomorphic golden retriever. And he's just a solid dude, just really friendly, super nice to everybody.
And of course, BoJack hates him because he's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audrey called me Mr. Peanut Butter, and it kind of stuck in the family. So, but yeah. So what happened with you recently, Chris?
Well, if you have been hearing any noises or seeing me look all over the place because I'm, just keeping an eye on things, we adopted a 6-month-old kitten who has a mustache. Oh. It is on my Twitter. There are all kinds of pictures of him. He's hilarious. He does not have a name yet. The shelter name that he was given is Archie, which fits because our other cat's name is Jughead.
I mean, you gotta keep that one, right?
Yeah, it feels like a keeper, but
I feel like I have to.
It's got to be like
know.
Archie, Goku, something.
I
Shriver
wanted
the second.
because he had the mustache. I wanted Victor Trunk Sullivan, and then we would just call him Sully. But Jess didn't want to do that. She wants to do either Linguini or Wario. I think there's a very good chance we may end up doing Wario. Just because I love the idea of, like, for the next, like, 10 or 15 years, just yelling at a cat and be like, wow! Come here, wow!
You bastard cat. Wow.
Yeah. So, when I think he's pooping right now. I saw him go into the litter box just now. Yeah, so
he's crafting some Wario's wares.
Yeah.
So whenever he's done, I'm sure at some point he'll jump up. He's been attacking my mouse on my monitors all day. So
I saw
chasing it around.
That video you put in our chat. And I was oh, this kitty. I didn't know it was a new cat.
Yeah, new cat. He's only 6 months old. I did today. I put up a baby gate or like a dog gate or whatever in front of the office door because he's like been just in here and had them just like kind of sniff each other out and like get a feel for each other. Jug leapt over the gate and then was like they were on the same side and I was like, okay, let's see how this plays out. And like
I don't know why you thought that gate would work.
I know, I knew it was gonna happen. Jug kind of like sniffed him out. And then, like, Kitten just kind of took it and was like, okay. And then Jug went back and they were kind of done. And I was like, all right. And I shut the door. So, like, it was very good.
That's how you want it.
Yep. Very good meet and greet. Tomorrow, they're taking a jackhammer to my downstairs neighbor's bathroom. So I'm going to move him to the bedroom. And then we'll leave this open for Jug.
Get freaking shell-shocked.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but he's been great. Like, he's super fun. I mean, he's a kitten, you know? Like, what's not to love? There he is! Ah!
Hey!
Come here, you.
There he is, little Wario Kakarot.
He's got post-poop energy.
Sullivan.
There he goes.
Yep, there he goes.
Little Wario Kakarot Sullivan right there.
All right, you can go. Go ahead. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway.
Yeah.
But he's been, he hangs out with me more than Jug does. Jug is Jess's cat, like for sure. He and I have been bonding, which is cool.
That's good.
Never really had
That's
that
cool.
since I had a dog. So
it's really interesting. Like obviously we've talked about this on the show, but like how cats put up a front that they don't care and they clearly care, and some care way more than others.
Yeah.
But then like it seems like it comes and goes. Like it's very interesting. Jake is definitely the more affectionate of our two cats, but he doesn't like. I feel like he's like kind of putting on a show. Like he doesn't care about this, but he thinks that I care about it, so he does it.
Sure.
Whereas when Finn comes up and wants to be pet, and then I start petting Finn, he like closes his eyes and like leans into it, and you can clearly tell like he is getting something out of this.
Right.
Whereas like Jake is just like, I don't know, like sometimes he'll like get up and like nip on my beard and like try to like rub his head on me or something like that. But like I don't know, it's just very interesting what like vibes with different cats and what doesn't.
Yeah. It's been he's back at the. If you're watching the stream, you may see him pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I apologize in advance if it's distracting, but nothing I can
deal with it.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of quick things to burn through real quick. So I want to let's see. Let me go ahead and talk about a couple of demos that I played this week. Or no, not a couple of demos. I played one game and I played one demo, which I normally don't talk about demos, but this demo was sent to us from our friends over at Pop Agenda, and I played this demo because they don't tend to steer me wrong. And they definitely didn't this time either. Have either of you seen this game, TOEM? It's black and white. It's about photography.
I think I've heard of it. Oh, it's like Pokemon Snap, isn't it? It's like a Pokemon Snap clone.
I've not played Pokemon Snap, so I don't know that I can make that assertion, but I can tell you what the game is, and then you can just tell me. So basically, it's a photography game. You can control it. I was given a key for the demo on Steam, and it was for like being able to access the demo early. I'm not sure if it's still out. I should probably check that, or if somebody wants to check that while I'm talking about the game, if it's like available yet. But it's photography. You can either use a controller or you can like do it with mouse and like click move and stuff like that. So it's like really easy to play. Basically, you use the mouse or your analog sticks to like pivot around, and pull out your camera. Usually, it's like a third-person isometric, and you just kind of like click around the environment. But when you want, you pivot to your camera and you like kind of look around from a first-person view. So it's really interesting because that adds like a layer of like really crazy perspective to this very simple black and white world. And then you can take pictures of a bunch of different things. So like you'll see like a bunch of animals, and like there'll be like snails racing or something like this. There's like all sorts of stuff that you can take pictures of, just like weird happenings. And as you wander around the world, people will give you little quests or like little things of like, hey, I heard there's a monster in the woods around here. If you can get a photo for it, I'll add it to my collection or something. And then you like find it as you're wandering about. Or somebody will be like, hey, if you want to join our scout troop, you'll need to, I heard there was a troop of tiny soldiers around here. And like you wander around and like it's ants and they're just going about their business, and they're just that sort of a thing.
It's very similar in terms of like mission structure to new Pokemon Snap. Okay. The original one,
I thought you couldn't like wander around freely though.
You can, like just in terms of just like the missions themselves, but it'll be like a little hint of like, like you said, there's little soldiers around, and it ends up being ants. Pokemon Snap is similar, but obviously that's like a on rails fixed camera thing, and then depending upon how you interact with different things in the world, secret Pokemon may come out. I imagine this is similar. To some degree. I mean, there
are certain times when, so like, for example, there's the monster that I talked about in the woods. The only way that you can get it to come out is after a certain point, you'll get like a tripod for your camera, and you can set that up, and then you can move around the area, but you can still take pictures from the tripod, obviously. So What you do is you hide behind something, and then the monster will come out, and then you take a picture of it while you're hiding.
Right.
And then the moment that you come out of hiding, it'll, of course, hide away again, and then you won't be able to get a picture. And then certain ones are like, oh, hey, our hotel looks so great. We need like a new promotional image, and there'll be like something like 2 zones away where you can actually, get a picture that will be at the angle that they want and different things like that. So it's really cool. And then some people will be like, oh, I need you to take a picture of a moldy rock and a pine tree and this sort of a flower. And then you do all those things and then come back and show them to them. And there's all sorts of like stuff that you can get where it's like, you can get new like, customization options. Like you can get a new hat, you can get glasses, you can get boots or like a wet sock that you can wear or something. And some of these actually have things that affect things. So
why a wet sock?
It's part of one of the mini stories.
You gotta fill something with nickels to beat your children with.
Yeah. Well, somebody's sock was missing, and I went and found it, and then he was like, well, there's 2 socks here, and they're both, why are they so wet? And then he just gives one back to you. And then you're just like, oh, I can wear this. But like one of the things is like a pair of cool sunglasses, and they let you see ghosts, which like unlocks a bunch of new quests from ghosts and that sort of a thing. So it's really, really adorable. It's very fun. The writing is like really weird. It's got a bizarre sense of humor. There's like a creature compendium that's separate from your quest log. So if you just want to go around and get a bunch of pictures of all the creatures, basically the way that they kind of move you through the world is each zone, there's a bus stop by that zone, and you need to get a certain number of stamps in your stamp book, and then they'll basically comp your bus ride to the next area. So like leaving your home area, you can get, I think, like 2 stamps there, but you only need 1 to get to the second area. Then the second area, there's like 15 stamps that you can get, but you only need 7 to get to the next area. Stuff like that. So it's really, really fun. Super charming, really relaxing. You don't need a whole lot to go to new areas, but the exploring is fun and figuring out what weird things are going on in the world. Yeah. So that's TOEM. I had a lot of fun with the demo. So, I finished the demo, so.
The demo is still on Steam if you're interested.
Okay.
No hard release date yet. It says it's coming out in 2021. But yeah, that's as much as Steam will tell me about it.
So in the next 6 months, unless they say, yo, never mind.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be a really good fit for Switch.
Yes.
Like, it just seems like that type of game.
It would.
Yeah.
But it's not bad on PC either. Like
I mean, like, visually, just the gameplay footage that I'm watching, it's all very smooth. Like, it looks like it just seems like a very smooth, chill. It's all black and white, hand-drawn cartoon animation. Just a very, like, good rainy Sunday morning chill kind of game. Yes. Almost like, what's that one you two played, that Cozy Grove? Isn't that what it was called?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of those vibes.
Yeah, I think I like TOEM a bit more than Cozy Grove even.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely think I prefer this. I think this is really good. This is definitely one of those games that, like, when it comes out completely, I'll definitely be playing it, because it is exactly that sort of a thing. Like, there are so many games that either demand a lot of attention or in other ways don't necessarily help you relax. And this is a game that is kind of walks that line. It's still very, very relaxing, but at the same time, like, it's engaging. Like, it's not one of these games that you can just, like, not pay attention, because, like, you're gonna want those clues.
Sure.
Where you're trying to figure out, what you need to take a picture of and where, and see stuff that's hidden. But it's engaging without being kind of anxiety inducing. It's, like, just so relaxing. Plus the music is great. It's really, really good. And there's a demo, so go check it out. And it's got from what I understand, like, it's not a super short demo. Like, it's not super lengthy, but I think there's, like, 3 areas in it.
Oh, nice.
Or something.
Oh,
or
you know what else?
It might just be 2, and the moment you go to the third one, it tells you the demo's over. But yeah.
You know what else I wanted to mention, because I don't think we've talked about it on here. If anybody watched the episode where we talked about our time with, maybe said Temtem, Tunic on Steam, that demo has also made its way to Xbox as well.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. So I fired that up the other night. Yeah, it runs really well. I feel like that demo on Xbox is actually longer than the one that's on Steam.
I think that's the version 2 demo as well. I think that's more than the one that I got.
Okay, then that would explain it, because I saw stuff.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like people have. I feel like I've heard the scuttlebutt that, like, whatever the new demo is a different version of the game than the one I played.
Yeah, because the one, like, that demo on Xbox that I played, probably a week or 2 ago at this point, I saw things in that I did not see in the Steam one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you said the performance is really good.
I mean, it's Series X, yeah.
It was, I mean, I played it on my PC, and it was, like, okay.
Well, no, I mean, your Series X is more powerful than your PC at this point.
Mine is for sure.
My desktop, probably.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Mine is 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Maybe I should just be playing stuff on Xbox then.
Yeah, maybe you should. I don't know.
Maybe I should. Yeah, but I had another thing that I tried. I got sent a key for this game called Glam. Have either of you seen this?
Oh, we lost Mr. Mobley.
We lost him.
I have not seen Glam. What is Glam? There you go.
So, I'm gonna use a term because it's the first thing that came to mind. I apologize if this is in any way offensive, but correct me if it is.
Here we go.
I can't wait to hear what he's about to say. Because I'm looking at the box art, and I'm like...
Glam is Hood Rat Celeste, basically.
Oh.
But I'm not sure if that's like a derogatory term.
I mean, it's not great.
Probably not great, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I apologize. But those are the words that came into my head when I started playing this. So it is straight up Celeste.
Yeah. I mean,
so you're running through, you're platforming, you're grabbing onto walls and climbing up them.
Here.
You're grabbing vines with your hair and swinging. You're collecting cassette tapes like you would collect strawberries in Celeste. And then it turned into kind of a more like avoid these instant kill projectiles. Like as I got further into the game, and I was like, I'm out. But if you're, I know some people out there who are like, I love Celeste, but like I could use something more difficult. Now, I don't know if it eventually grows into something more difficult.
I don't know if I know any masochists like that, but sure.
Yeah, I was like...
I know somebody who has literally every strawberry in that game.
Same. But it's literally one person that I know that is in that position.
Yes, it is one person.
Yeah, on the stream, I have a screenshot of, like, if you see it, it's like, yep, that is exactly as Brian described it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was just playing that, and I was like, wow, this is like basically exactly Celeste.
Yeah.
Except instead of like an air dash, you grab vines with your hair and like swing a little bit. And then the stamina from you swinging with your hair is the same stamina that you have to use to climb. So like you gotta be swift. But I just wanted to mention that because even though it's not for me, it might be for somebody else out there.
Sure.
Cool.
Josh, what have you been getting into this week?
Oh boy, I played a lot of Dark Alliance, so I can talk about that.
I've been talking to people about this for a while, and I think we discussed this.
Did.
I don't remember if it was on the show or not.
No, you and I were just talking, and you were like, "It's getting bad reviews," and I went, "Don't tell me that." That was before I played it.
So what do you think now that you've played it?
I would say it's not as bad as some people are making it out to be, but it definitely has problems. It's definitely not perfect, but
it's on Game Pass, right?
It is. But for anyone who's not aware, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is like third-person action RPG kind of thing. It's very simple, honestly. It's like you're in a town, you co-op with people, and then you select a mission. You go off to that mission, you beat stuff up, you get loot, and you come back, and you just like do it again over and over.
Sounds like a lot of one-shot D&D happening.
Yeah, a little bit, not with any of the like nuance or funny stories or anything. Just a lot of the punching, right? But it's in the D&D world, or the Forgotten Realms world, or whatever you want to call it. But it's funny because I think if there had been more time, I think if the devs had more time to fix a lot of the little issues that the game has, it could have been like pretty good. I definitely don't think it's like a 3 or anything. I would say it's more like a 6, like a low 6.
IGN gave it a 4,
but it could be a 7. Is sort of the way I'm
like it has potential if they fixed a lot of the problems.
It could be a little fun thing that you and your friends play, and you're like, well, that was fun, and then you kind of never think about it again, right? It's just kind of a
a great Game Pass game.
Yeah, a great Game Pass game, exactly.
Jump in, jump out.
Yeah, but as it stands, there's just all these little tiny issues. Like weirdly on the Series X, I played it on both my PC and my Series X, and weirdly on the Series X, there's all these like frame rate issues and stuff, despite the fact that it says it's optimized for X and S. It does not feel optimized, and I don't know if that's just the console or it's the game itself, right? But it doesn't run.
It sounds like it just wasn't ready.
I would say it probably wasn't ready. Like there's a lot of little things.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One, you've said like what the kind of hook is, but what sort of gameplay is it? Like what's the genre? What's the style?
I mean, it's third person, like everybody plays a different character, but they're all designed characters. They're all like designed sort of D&D, famous D&D characters. So there's like
Drist or whoever.
Yeah, Drist is one of them, who's the only one I know, honestly. So there's him, and then there's like the guy I've been playing is just this dwarf who's like kind of like a cleric. And then there's a guy with a hammer, just like a white dude with a hammer, and then a lady with a bow. And you're like, okay.
Minsk isn't in there?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know who
There's
that
no
is.
barbarian. There's no barbarian with a hamster. All right. If he's a
It sounds
character
like you're
from
talking about Overwatch and not D&D.
He's a character from Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
He's like a meme character from Baldur's Gate.
What a fucking
Sure.
nerd.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that and then my other question, and feel free to, if you don't know, but do you know if they're planning to like support this? Like, is there a chance that these problems will get fixed as the game kind of goes on?
You'd hope they get fixed. When I play it, I don't see any indication that like there's going to be more content. When like even the map select has like a place for everything, it kind of feels like, it's like, oh, maybe they could add one or two, but I have doubts that they'll ever do that. But I don't know. I hadn't really kept up with the game, but it kind of feels like it's a boxed game you buy and that's it. But yeah, there was a lot of little weird things that are decisions that I'm just like, I don't know why this was a decision that was made. Like, there's no AI for you to play with. So if you're playing by yourself, you're literally playing by yourself. It's literally just you. And then you play with your friends if you want, and you can queue online, but you're not like picking a mission and saying, I would like to queue into this. You're just queuing and you're ending up in someone's town and then just kind of waiting, for someone to pick a mission, and then they might pick a mission that's too hard for you or pick a thing. It's like there's no rhyme or reason to anything. So people end up kind of just standing around and then leaving and going to the next thing. And
Oh, Wolfgar.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I recognize that name.
Yeah. So that's a little weird. I played mostly with a friend of mine, so it's just us two. And it definitely feels like the game's not scaled to, like, the game doesn't scale depending on how many people there are. Because
Sure.
our gear score was close to 3,000. And the difficulty we were playing on was, like, recommended for people at 2,300. And we were struggling at parts because it was just the two of us. And I don't know if that's just like the difficulty's not quite right or there's some problem with the way the gear scales or something, but like it just did not feel, it felt really difficult. Like we were really like struggling at times to like push,
Is there any type of like, like Destiny, you can just keep running strikes, or like, is there any type of...
Yeah, I mean, you can keep rerunning missions.
Oh, okay.
You can pick like any mission you want, basically,
Yeah.
and go to them and just do them again if you wanted to. But the problem is that, yeah, there's like a lot of there's things like that, and then there's just a lot of weird hitches in the gameplay where like you'll literally be hitting someone, and then they just kind of decide that they don't want you to hit them anymore, and they'll just like kind of hitch like 10 feet away for like no reason, and you're like, can't tell if that was the game or the server, but like I didn't lag and nobody else lagged, in this battle. It was just this one guy just decided he didn't want me to hit him anymore, so he just kind of left, So like that's a little weird. And then we have this bug where every time we finish a mission and go back to town, the voice chat, the in-game voice chat just comes back on. Doesn't matter if you have it turned off. You'll even go to the options and it still says turned off. No, you're still hearing your friends and seeing your little thing pop up. You have to like turn it on and off and save every time we go back to town.
Oh my
God. It just gets like a little annoying. Like this game is the epitome of death by 1,000 cuts. Like there's
Yeah.
It's like the core of it is pretty solid, right? Just like go beat up monsters with your friends and get loot and just have a good time. You're like, okay, like that seems like a nice easy thing to do, or not easy, right?
It sounds
but
like a good time, yeah.
Just a basic thing, but there's just all these little things that just kind of add up and sort of add to the frustration. That and like we got our first pieces of legendary loot and we were like kind of not blown away by it, like their version of exotics basically, and was just like, this just kind of feels like another item. Like it doesn't really. And it didn't like feel like it substantially impacted our gameplay or made what we were doing easier, right? It just kind of felt like, oh, it's another axe, It's like it's So, having put like
I do have some details on this. So it looks like there's going to be 2 pieces of free DLC and then an expansion. So the first set of DLC says summer 2021 and has new levels. Then in fall of 2021, there's going to be a second DLC drop with new levels and new difficulty rankings. Then there's going to be an expansion called Echoes of the Blood War, which is going to have a new playable character that focuses on magic, new levels, and more, whatever that means.
Okay.
And that's also going to be this fall.
All right. Cool.
So I'm not sure how much that, but basically what I was getting at is like if this game's being supported, I think the likelihood that they're not just going to drop this and run is like a lot higher. So by the time this is over, maybe this is something that's,
worth checking out.
I'd like to see it. All these little problems get fixed. Especially like the biggest one for me is like the frame rate on Xbox. That needs a fix like pretty fast because it
What is it supposed to hit?
Like it should be hitting 60. It's not. The game is like not. Like it looks pretty good. Like the environments look pretty good. The problem is that it's just I don't know. Like it's not hitting It feels like it's not hitting like 60 frames a second, even though. When you boot it up, it even says X and S optimized, which to me means like that it's going to run as good as it possibly can on here. And when I'm playing it, I'm like, this could run way better. This doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It was like my PC that is definitely not as strong as this runs it at 60 with no problems and never hitches. So I'm like, there's no way.
So it's not a power issue.
It's not a power issue. I think it's there's something else going on.
How much of it did you play on PC versus like
were there like we've played like half the game at this point?
Did it have like the same amount of bugs other than the frame rate or? That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So like
it'd be one thing if it was like the console port's just not as good. But
the thing is too, like the console, I played it a bit, and then when I was fully playing it, it was mostly on PC.
Yeah.
So I would say like 95% of my time has been on PC, but when I was on Xbox, there were these little problems.
Yeah,
that I was seeing.
Bummer.
It is a little bit of a bummer. Like I don't want to make it sound like the game's like bad because it's not. It's not terrible or anything. It's just almost like it's like it's not ready. Like, someone somewhere at the studio was like, "Yo, we need like 2 more months minimum, right, to fix some of this stuff." And then someone up top was like, "Too bad, just push it out." Yeah. It's like a little unfortunate, but it's the epitome. It's fine, is what I'll say. I don't think it's like terrible or anything, but at the same time, when I'm playing it, I'm like, I could be playing Vermintide too.
or like Outriders or other like multiplayer games that are like more made for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I say Vermintide because like it's the same kind of basic concept, even though it's more like Left 4 Dead, and this feels more like, I don't know, Dark Alliance on PS2, right? But I compare it more to...
Which is a bummer, because I know a lot of people like that game on PS2.
I compare it more to Vermintide because it's like the same kind of thing, except it's more Left 4 Dead, but with loot, and there's like character classes, and you go back to like a keep between missions, and you like craft your gear and make it better and stuff, and they're like, okay, let's go do another one, like it has that kind of thing. But
that is one game I feel like if I started playing it, that would be the only thing I would play.
It's a dope
game.
I'm
like Vermintide.
Vermintide. Like every time Josh describes it, I'm like, I should look at it. But at the same time, like I don't need another Destiny 2 where like
it's not like
what you play in 2021.
You're not playing Destiny 2.
No, I know.
It's not like that at all. Like they do put new content in the game, but not like that. To that, degree where they're like it's a whole expansion with story and stuff. It's just kind of like, there's new stuff. Or like
what we're saying, Chris, is the threat is isolated.
Yeah.
It's not endless. It's not infinite. There's a finite amount.
It's not like a battle pass game where you got to show up, right? Like every week or whatever. It's like a game you just kind of dip into, and you're like, I'm gonna hit vermin with my axe for like an hour, and then I'm gonna come out and have like better loot and stuff for the next time.
I'm gonna hit it and quit it. It's not a crack factory.
But yeah.
Not a
I'll have to
crack
look at
factory,
it.
my
Yeah.
friend.
That's Dark Alliance. I mean, if you have Game Pass, give it you have nothing to lose. Just try it. But at
Just
the same
catch the
time,
fever.
I'm like, maybe wait. Maybe give it like a little bit longer.
Speaking of which, I think those Twitter posts
Or-
about Game Pass are hilarious.
Which one?
Like,
What? Just everyone like,
one
is
that
this
Destin
social media
started.
marketing or whatever?
Yeah, the one that Destin started where it was like, man, you know what? It is crazy hot outside. Almost as crazy as Microsoft is to give
Yeah.
away 100 or 380 games with Game Pass for
Yeah.
just $15 a month. Like,
Yeah.
or somebody like these rumors that we're paid shills for Microsoft are so crazy. Almost as crazy as the fact that you can get all day one releases, all that sort of stuff. That's very funny to me. But yeah,
Game Pass is great.
that's
More
cool.
people
is.
should get on it. But you know what else is like funny about this, and this is the last thing, is that Vermintide is also on Game Pass, which I'm kind of
Oh,
like,
I know.
maybe just go
Yeah.
play that instead
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Chris, what do you want to talk about now?
Mario Golf.
Oh,
Super
yes, I got
Rush.
questions.
Yes. So I spent a lot of time with this little title this weekend. As many of you know, I am the Mario Golf savant on this podcast. I have
Yep.
been beating the drum for a console Mario Golf game since this podcast began. I am here to tell you this Mario Golf game is not it. The reviews are true. Here's the main, like, the shortest version way that I can put this.
Because this is what I was waiting for. This is what I was
Yeah.
waiting for because we had this agreement. You know, we've been talking about I'm buying the new iterations on the new consoles,
Yeah.
and my question to you was gonna be, is this the one or no?
This ain't it, dog. So I will tell you what two games you should play if you are genuinely interested in Mario Golf. It's Mario Golf Toadstool Tour on the GameCube. I played it last night. That game still fucking rips ass. It's so good.
They keep saying
And-
that. Huh?
Mario.
I mean,
we're making
but-
that a thing, huh?
I mean, it rips ass, but you know what else rips ass? Some other people saying rips ass, Chris.
What?
Some other people out there on podcasts saying rips ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know about all this. Yeah.
Anyway, but it rips ass.
It rips ass.
It rips ass.
The other one, Mario Golf World Tour on 3DS. Not as good as Toadstool Tour, in my opinion.
Okay.
World Tour, very good.
So GameCube's still the gold standard for both Mario Golf and Mario Kart.
And Mario Tennis.
Really? Okay.
That was the best Mario Tennis. Mario Power Tennis on GameCube.
really out there, and
Dude.
and arguably best Zelda game.
Yeah, and honestly, like I don't think this
Or
is
two best Zelda
nostalgia
games.
talking at this point. I genuinely believe that this is like if you were to lay modes and like what's available in each of these games and everything, like all of those games in the GameCube era were just a full complete package. And there was a lot to them. Hello. Mwah. And this one, it's almost awkward how little there is. Like you boot it up and it's basically like you have online, you have
That's kind of how I felt about the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version on Switch. I mean, and obviously Wii U by extension.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not a lot there. I mean, granted, Mario Kart hasn't had a ton of modes over the years. But like you boot up Toadstool Tour and it's tournament mode. There's ring challenges. There's like I think there's like a time attack challenge. Like there's all these different modes. This one it's literally like speed golf, battle golf, and the single player, and then you can do like regular stroke play. There's no in previous Mario Golf games, if you wanted to unlock a course, you would open up tournament mode, you would play a course. If you won that course, you would then unlock the next one and then proceed through and, things of that nature. It also had characters that you could unlock by doing like different, challenge modes and things like that. Or like you would collect badges and stuff like that, depending on how well you did. And that is all not in Super Rush. The single player mode in Super Rush is only about 40 hours. or 40 hours, 4 hours rather.
It's only 40 hours.
It's only 40 hours.
So little. I'm like 40 hours of tennis.
It's a full JRPG.
It's only 4 hours, and what's weird about it is like the thing like to keep you coming back is so you play as your Mii golfer, so like you can't even play as a Mario character in the single player mode.
Immediately,
that kind of
go for me.
Ruined it for me. And all you can do is level up that character.
I don't like myself. Why do you think I'm playing these games?
Yeah. So like, what's weird about it though is like the whole game. It's very clear that the whole game is going to be centered around the idea that like they are going to have multiplayer online tournaments that people are going to be able to compete in, similar to how they did. At least this is what I'm speculating. If this isn't the case, never buy this game because there's like nothing here. The way Mario Tennis did it. There was like monthly tournaments you could, and then each one, if you participated, you would get X number of points. If you collected enough points, you would get like a new costume for Mario, or you could get like new characters that you could play as, and they all had different abilities and things like that. I imagine they're going to do that with this, but it's not the same as like, I don't feel compelled to sit down and grind out like, I'm going to get all the star characters in the star version of Mario, Luigi, and all these guys to be able to play with in multiplayer. This is really just like you have your Mii and that's pretty much it. What's unfortunate is like, other than everything I've just said, is mechanically I think the game is very good. I think it's the best that the game's ever felt.
Dang, what a bummer.
Yeah, like it has a lot of really good ideas. It's just it almost seems like, similar to Dark Alliance, it seems like it was rushed. Like starting it up, it's like, and not in a sense that it's not polished, but in the sense that like it's just very thin.
Which is weird because it's not like Nintendo doesn't have things coming out. So it's not like they were in some Sahara desert of like. Well, I think
titles. Part of it is you're looking at Q1 and Q2 for them. It's really, and Q3. I mean, I don't even remember what came out at the beginning of this year on Switch.
No idea. Couldn't tell you.
Well, like I literally couldn't tell you if anything, notable. It's Mario Golf in June, and then Skyward Sword in July, which is a remake, which is like, this should have been, a home run. I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed by it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I want to finish the campaign and everything. Some of the modes that I do like, speed golf is fun. That's where you hit the ball and you have to chase after it, and you can kind of attack other players, on your way there. That's very fun. There's another one where they basically drop you into this like giant map, and there's like mountains and everything. And there will be like 6 different holes that you have to get to. And it'll be like, okay, you have 40 strokes. And you have to get to each of these holes within 40 strokes and like, sink the putt or whatever. And if you do that, you complete the challenge. And if not, you have to start over. There's unique ideas like that, but there aren't enough of them from what I've seen so far. Which is
it's just not enough to hold your attention.
And it's like everything else that's there just feels very. This is a kid's game, like a kid's game, or they're trying
kids game, not a normal Nintendo. Like, this is for kids and adults, depending on what you want.
Right, and it's like again, this is that conversation that we have of like, this isn't me being older and me being like, well, back in my day, like I really think it's that there's just not as much content there as there used to be. And I mean, it's plain as day if you put them up against each other. But I think the most awkward thing about it though is the fact that like they centered the whole progression system around this game around a single player experience, only for you to then have to use that same character in multiplayer. And then the multiplayer is like really, it has this
does
weird
that, like incentivize you to finish the single player stuff before getting into multiplayer. Even though multiplayer is the
you have to play the single player. Like, otherwise you don't get courses. Like, you can't, your me doesn't level up, and then you'll be like terrible online. Like, it's the decisions that they made with this are very weird.
That's
like, it makes
making it so that you have like some sort of symbiotic interaction between single player and multiplayer, but making them like actually dependent on each other in that way.
It doesn't make sense. Like, if Jess were to be like, not that she ever would, but if Jess were to ever be like, let's play Mario Golf. Oh, can I play as my me? I'd be like, well, I'm going to smoke you because my me is all kinds of leveled up and yours isn't.
This is kind of a weird example or a weird comparison to draw, but is it like Dragon Ball Fighters, where like by playing single player you could unlock Goku Blue, Vegeta Blue, and Android 21, but you could also do that by like finishing arcade mode or getting a certain score in this other thing?
If it did, I would be doing that instead. And I think that's my problem, is like tournament mode was that
you don't
mode
have
for
another
me.
out. That's
you don't
the
even
only
have
other
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
that's a shame.
Like, what I love about Toadstool Tour is that it is a very, like, in order for you to progress and unlock things, like, it is a very single-player centric experience. There are other ways, you know, similar to, like, Melee did this, or like Smash Brothers does this, really, where like you can either like play on this map and then you can challenge this character, or play 30 matches and then you'll eventually get them.
Yeah.
This game does not have that. It's very weird. It'll be interesting to see if like 6 months from now they've added content and they've changed a few things. I don't know, because of reception and because of just the number of people that I think are going to buy it. I think the sales are going to be very low. I don't think they'll end up doing that, which is a shame, because I want this game to be good, and it's just like, I guess I'm going to keep playing Toadstool Tour for the rest of my life because it's the only one that I want to play.
How long has it been since we've gotten a Mario Golf game? Was it, I mean, you said there was one on 3DS, so I guess just on the previous console. Was there one for Wii U or no?
No. Like that, and that's why I've been making such a big deal about this. Like, Toadstool Tour came out.
It's been a while since we've even had one. Was there one for Wii?
No.
That is bonkers to me. That seems like the perfect console to have a golf game on.
Yeah.
Maybe well, there was in Wii Sports, right? So maybe
it was literally,
we already have the thing working. Or we already have it,
it
right?
was Wii Sports, but Wii Sports was like three maps or whatever it was. There's 3 holes. So Toadstool
and I'm
Tour,
saying that as somebody who hates motion controls, like, I'm saying that seems like a perfect game to come out.
It would have exactly. It would have made a lot of sense.
Not at all for me.
So Mario Golf came out 2003, or Toadstool Tour rather came out 2003.
Jeez. Okay.
Advanced Tour, which was also very good. That was obviously on Game Boy Advance,
right? Yeah.
And it actually connected to Toadstool Tour. You would go. That game had its own RPG where you would go through, level up the character, and then you could import that character into Toadstool Tour, which was really cool.
That's cool.
That came out 2004. Then we didn't get another one till 2014, which was Mario Golf World Tour.
10 years later.
10 years later on 3DS.
You got one year, you got one the next year, and then 10 years later.
And then after that, which that game was good, but it was on 3DS. And then this comes out
7 years later.
Yeah, and it's not very good. Well, I mean, I will say this: like, it was really nice waking up Sunday morning and being like, I'm gonna, play a couple courses or like play a couple rounds. As like I'll do like Wario and Rosalina and whatever, and I could just pop in and do that. The staying power of that though is too short. Like games now, there aren't enough games anymore that exist where it's like, play this thing and you unlock this thing. Like the GameCube era was excellent at that. Now it's like, play the game, level up, cool. It's like that whole as a service thing. You're going to use this in the long run for literally everything else in the game. Oh, and by the way, if you want any other content, you got to pay for it.
It's like everything's sort of clouded by
paywalls.
You're like, well, that too. But I was gonna say, you're not really sure where you get something.
Yeah. But like I don't know,
like the gotcha
part of the
sort of stuff.
Yeah, part of the excitement of like a new Mario Kart game, and this is part of the reason I was so frustrated. And then I'll get off of this when I'm done my rant. But part of my, problems with Mario Kart 8 on Switch was that everything was unlocked at the beginning. But like for me, part of the fun of playing Mario Kart is to progress through each of those and unlock it, and like you've earned it at that point.
Yeah.
We don't have enough games that do that anymore, and I don't know. I just think it's a shame.
Yeah.
And Mario Golf Toadstool Tour did it perfectly, and no other game's done it since, other than the other Mario sports games that came out in that era.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Durant.
That's a bummer.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some more positive things. Have either of you tried Knockout City?
Yeah.
That's also on
I
Game
have,
Pass.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I played that this week. That is it. So it's on Game Pass. It's a third-person action multiplayer game about dodgeball. And basically, the thing is, if you time your button press right, you can catch the ball, and then you won't, have that sort of thing. But you have 2 hit points, and if you get hit twice, that's it. Or if somebody knocks you off a ledge, that's it. You're dead, and you got to wait till you respawn. And then, as you knock people out and that sort of a thing, like you get points for your team and stuff. But you can hold the ball, you can throw it, you can charge it and make it like hit really hard and just like knock people on their butt.
There's special balls also that like spawn around the map, like power weapons in Halo, basically. Or like a multi-ball or something. Yeah.
You can smack somebody and then it turns them into a ball and then you can throw them at their friends. Like, it's pretty wild. But anyway, I wanted to just mention that. I didn't play very much of it. I played just a couple of matches, but I just wanted to say it was a good time. Yeah. So if you got Game Pass, check it out.
I played a few and I was like, oh yeah, this is neat. A neat little thing. It reminded me a lot of Splatoon. In that Splatoon sort of feels like what if Nintendo made a third-person shooter, and it's like, well, what if we're gonna do the Nintendo thing where we take a genre and we do something like totally different. Like instead of just making another third-person shooter, what if you shot the ground instead? That's what's
that great.
Yeah.
Nintendo thing that they do.
Yeah, Knockout City sort of felt like that to me, where it's like it is an arena shooter at the end of the day, but it's like, what if the context was super different, and also you're not immediately just throwing a ball at a person like when you turn a corner like you would in a shooter. You just start laying into them, right? In this, it's sort of like there's a little bit of a push and pull because they can catch it and throw it back, and if you don't catch it right, then yeah, it's a neat little game.
Yeah. That's a great point, that it's not just an arena shooter. And this is one of the things, like, the larger discussion in the video games industry is like, why always kill? Like, why not something else? And like, I think that's great. Like, you get things like Chris mentioned Cozy Grove earlier, things where it's just like, hey, we're, popping around and helping people kind of come to peace with things. We're, doing all this sort of stuff. Like, it's not always about killing. It's it's about doing these different things. And this is a really interesting way to have that same kind of Twitch feeling with like a very innocent kind of premise that I think is great. That doesn't necessarily lose any of its intensity, because let me tell you, when you see somebody charging up a ball and like, you don't know when they're going to let it go, and you have to time your catch, like, or you're going to get knocked out. Like, it's tense.
Stressful.
I think when
you're still playing footsies the way that you normally would. Like, it's interesting.
I also think when they hold it down, like the ball goes faster, like it flies through the air faster, so then it makes it harder for people to catch it. So,
because you have to time it differently. Yeah. Like, you basically, if somebody's chucking it at that speed, you basically have to, like, you might even have to preempt their throw if they're like right on you. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, the other thing that I was doing was I was playing, I beat Hitman 1.
Wait, you were playing like the first one? Like,
yes.
Period? On what?
Series X. So I was playing.
Oh, wow.
So Hitman 3 is on and optimized for Series X. And as with the previous games, all of the previous games in this little mini-series are included in that. So I was playing Hitman 1 legacy missions through Hitman 3. So as you boot up Hitman 3, it's like tutorial, And then after that, it's like story, Hitman 1, Hitman 2, Hitman 3. And you can just cycle through all the missions and just go from the beginning of Hitman 1 all the way to the end of Hitman 3 in one game.
I did not know. Like, I knew they were adding some of the maps. I didn't know it was literally like
it's literally the entire thing.
Like that. That's crazy.
It's cool.
It's so, and it's in the engine of Hitman 3. So it's like,
wow, that's
with
really
the mechanics
cool.
and everything. It's awesome.
That is neat.
So I beat that. I beat the Hitman 3 engine, Hitman 1, on Series X. Basically, what I've just been doing is like I'll be down here working during the day. I'll be like reviewing games or working on different stuff, writing for IGN, and then at night, we put Audrey to bed, and then we pop down on the couch.
You put
and
Audrey
fire
to
up.
bed.
I was gonna leave it.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a long day.
That's funny.
You and Riley are up like.
Audrey,
Yeah.
What I meant to say is Audrey and I put Riley to bed.
There you go.
There
And
you
then
go.
Audrey and I plopped down on the couch, and Aud's got a book, and she's just like, reading that or chilling out or like watching something on her phone. And I've got Hitman on there, and she started kind of paying attention when I was like, hey, Aud, I've got this, and she's very justicey. So there was a mission where it's like, hey, this rock star who has a billionaire media mogul father got away with killing his girlfriend, like murdering his girlfriend, and then his dad's lawyer got him off, basically. And we got a contract to kill them. And so I told her that, and she was like, I may sit down and watch this. And then like we were like looking at the various things, and it's so cool because like I am one of the last people to the party on Hitman for sure. But like you basically, there's like these little stories that you can do. Basically, they pop you in this amazing sandbox. And I was just kind of like, oh, like before, because I've written about the James Bond game that IO is doing. I did that for Ryan on IGN Unfiltered. And I was like, that's cool that, these Hitman games that everybody loves, they're going to get a cool James Bond game from that. And now I'm like, dude, I cannot wait for this James Bond game. Because IO's ability to create believable environments with people who interact in realistic ways to the player and what they do is like amazing.
Yeah.
Like there are certain people that you'll disguise yourself, and there's certain people who would know that you're not that person. So like you go into the first area and it's like you're dressing as a chef. The head chef knows all the chefs that work in this kitchen. They know you don't belong there. Like, but another thing that is interesting is like if you speed past them and they only see you out of their periphery, like they're not gonna suspect you. So like you just gotta figure stuff out, and you can set things up, and you can poison somebody, you can stick something that'll make them sick in their drink, and then they go to the bathroom where you're waiting for them, like all this sort of stuff. You can make it an accident. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on in this world, or you can just like I did in one mission, like they have you do the tutorial mission, and they like lead you by the hand through how it's done, which is great because it's so intimidating if they don't do that because there's so much that you can do. And then they actually are like, yo, do this mission again and do it a different way than we showed you how to do it. And they're like, oh, and also here's a bunch of guns, like you can do all this sort of stuff. And I was like, I wonder if I can. And it was one of those great moments like in Breath of the Wild or something like that, where it's just like, I wonder if I could just shoot this dude from out here. And I did. I just like literally shot the guy in the middle of a party, just headshotted him from across the map, and then just like got in the car and drove off. Like that was it. And
that's
it was
what's kind of brilliant about those games is like you can find those opportunities and just be like, screw it, let's see what happens, and take it.
Yeah,
or
you
like
just
go
save
through the
game.
whole like scripted, elaborate like thing where you finally like get to the end of it.
I literally like super deliberately played this first tutorial mission for like 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, something like that. Finished it, was like, yeah, I did it. And then I came back the next time and was like, oh, they gave me some guns. Oh, I wonder if he's gonna walk out onto the deck. And I literally beat the mission in like 25 seconds.
Yeah.
He was just like, walked out, pew, and everybody panics and freaks the hell out. Obviously, it's not an accident, but you can do that. You can just kill people and run away. you can like blow somebody's brains out point blank, or you can strangle them in a closet and stuff their body away and nobody will know, or you can make it look like an accident. Like there's so many points of iteration, and it's just so much fun. I can't wait. So I'm gonna buy the Hitman 2 pass for Hitman 3 and play that in that same optimized for Series X engine where everything just looks beautiful. And
what do those run? Like each expansion?
Well, you know? I looked at it, and Hitman 2 on Steam right now is like, I think it's on sale for like 75% off, so it's like $20 or something like that. If you buy the pass on Series X, it's not on sale, so it's like a full $60.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, but like I've already played the full thing, and like when I buy the third one, like I'll probably just get that one. I'll probably just play the whole trilogy on Xbox.
Yeah,
just
cool.
because like chilling on the
sense.
couch and doing that is like really enjoyable. So
well, and it's the type of game that like it's slow enough that if somebody like really like, you know, your wife was like sitting on the couch and like it's just like, oh, what is this? Like it's very easy for somebody to get sucked into whatever it is that you're doing.
And the levels don't take that long, so like if somebody is around, they could see the whole story.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that sort of thing. Like I started a mission, and then she was like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, I just started. I'll start it over." And then you'll get like the handler's like notes basically before you start the mission, basically telling you what you're trying to do. And
there's a mission in Hitman Blood Money where I'm gonna spoil this,
which I think I actually
game
have, because they gave that away with Games with Gold. So
yeah,
I was actually looking back. So it's like I own like Hitman 1. I own Absolution. I think I own Blood Money. That's the one with the red background, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I own that one. Like there's like a couple other games that I just have because of
Absolution's supposed to be very good. I never played it, but
I was talking to somebody else who said that was not supposed to be a good one. I don't know. I'll check it out. After I'm done with this trilogy, I may need more Hitman in my life. So
yeah. There's a mission in Blood Money where you go into an opera house and there's like this World War II like handgun that's like a prop, and you go in and like you can, if you play it long enough, you can like swap the gun out. So that when they're like, I think you go into the opera house and you like watch this whole thing play out, and the guy like pulls the trigger and he actually gets shot. Yeah.
Wow.
And then everyone in the audience is like, "Oh my god!" And you just like walk out. Like it's
you're
it's
just
awesome.
like, "What?"
Those games are great.
Yeah. It's been so cool to finally understand what everybody's talking about, which I mentioned like in a previous episode, but now having actually played through a full Hitman game, like it's pretty cool. And like there are little bonus missions that pop up, and then like after you beat it, you earn experience, as in all things, you earn experience. But then that experience is like, we unlocked like several drop points where you can have like weapons or items, or you can start in different locations, or you can start as the chef. It really, this is a game that you don't have to replay, and it's definitely worth the price of admission just for playing every level once. But like, they're like,
you're gonna want to probably.
We're gonna give you the freaking keys to the kingdom. We're gonna let you run wild in this area if you want. Like, I literally beat a mission, and then it was like, guess what? You unlocked. Now you have a baton that is collapsible such that it will pass frisk checks, or a gun that it's a silenced gun and it's got 5 bullets, but it's also small enough that you can get frisked and get through security with this thing. And it's just like, wow, okay. So then I just freaking blew somebody's brains out. Like, I just played like a bonus mission where I poisoned a hookah during a meeting and got the 2 targets that I wanted. And one of them was throwing up off the side of a building, and I chucked a brick at his head and knocked him off, and he fell to his death. And It was great. It was great. Like, it's funny. Just like you can't make this stuff up. It's so good. But yeah. So I'm pleased as punch to be able to have so much more Hitman that I can play. This is one of those rare opportunities where, like we were talking about, like where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And I'm not going to play every other Animal Crossing game. Like, I got what I wanted out of Animal Crossing, but like jumping into something for the first time and
having a whole backlog
and having freaking so many Hitman games that I can play now is like, that's just such a great feeling. That'd be like, what if you got into Dark Souls now? It's like which I mean, a bunch of people did with Demon Souls, but I'm very excited. I'm tickled pink. I can't wait. Hitman
I'm very
2
happy
next.
for you.
Pink.
I am curious though, if waiting for a sale on Hitman 2 on Xbox would also reduce the price of the pass or alleviate the need for it on Xbox, and I'm not sure. I don't know. These are the things that I have to figure out, but I don't think I'll be able to wait. I think
It's not too bad.
fun fact, I've literally been kept up at night by thinking about climate change. Like just not being able to sleep.
I thought you were going to say by your child, but...
Because of heat waves. No. She's slept through the night since she was like 6 weeks old.
Have you guys watched Inside yet? Bo Burnham's Inside?
No.
You want to talk about stuff that'll keep you up at night.
Well, I don't need more of that, so I probably won't watch that. But yeah.
It's, yeah.
Does anybody have anything else they want to touch on, or should we just wrap?
I have a quick one.
Go ahead. Go for it.
I tried BPM, bullets per minute. It's on sale right. The Steam Summer Sale is going on right now, and that was one that I had on my wish list for a while.
Probably why Hitman 2 is on sale on Steam. 75%.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to describe this, and it's going to sound like a lot.
Okay.
Because it is, but when you see it, it's like, oh wow, that is exactly what it is. It is a rhythm-based rhythm-based first-person shooter roguelike. So it's Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's if Crypt of the Necrodancer and Doom 2016 had a baby.
I mean, that sounds pretty great.
It's pretty great. It has a really cool soundtrack. Obviously, that's my thing.
For whatever reason, I couldn't wrap my mind around Crypt of the Necrodancer, but I wanted to.
Oh, I love that game so much. It's so hard. At least I think it's hard. I'm terrible at it. But yeah, BPM, you go around and like it's basically you have this big, expanding, sprawling dungeon that changes every time. And you have your like reticle is there's like arrows that you have to line up that go with the beat of the music, and that's the only time you can either shoot or reload. So every time something like crosses over, you like bop, 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 and then reloading is two different actions. So you'll hit like on mouse keyboard, it's like R, and then like you've reloaded, and then bop, bop, and you can keep clicking people. The difficult thing, honestly, on PC that I don't expect I would run into on console is that because you're using WAS to walk around, you can only go left when you need to reload because you have to do it to the beat, or you can stop moving. But like there's so much going on at any given time that like, I don't know, I've never noticed this in Destiny. Like, I guess this is a thing, but I noticed it a lot in this game. But it's fun.
That's why I use one of these buddies.
Yeah, I can't
get one of those
MMO
mice, so you've got just all those buttons on your thumb. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I have a Razer Naga. It has 12 buttons on the side of the mouse, and like I don't know how I played like first-person shooters on PC like without it, because it makes melee and like switching weapons and grenades and stuff like so much easier. You can react so much faster.
Mine has 2.
Dude, you got to get yourself one of those. Either a MOBA mouse would do it, or a MMO mouse.
It sounds like a lot. But yeah, BPM,
dude.
You only
very
really
fun.
use the first 6, honestly.
I don't know.
At least
I'm never going to do it. The second someone says MOBA, I'm like, I want nothing to do with that. That sounds like
just
math.
A mouse.
Yeah.
It sounds like math I don't want to do.
But it'll make your life better.
MOBAs don't even
much
have math.
clicking.
What are you talking about?
I think of the same. I think of. I think of mice. God, what am I trying to say?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're on right now.
Just confusion.
What are you
Hopped
on?
up on confusion.
I forget the point I was trying to make, and it was a really good one. It was a really good point, and I lost it. We were talking about MOBAs.
You can't listen to MOBA because it sounds like math.
It's like math.
Sure.
I don't know. It'll come to me.
Whatever you say, bud.
Hopefully. It'll come to me.
All right.
I'm getting old.
Shall we sign off?
Sure.
God, I can't believe this has left my brain. I'm so mad right now.
I'll remember when we stop recording.
I will.
And then I'll put it in the notes or something.
And I'll be like, wait.
Well, I'll literally put an asterisk and it'll be like, what Chris was trying to say was this.
Oh, God. Just make that the episode title. What Chris was trying to say was just ellipsis. What I was trying to say.
Thanks for joining us for episode 184 of The Platformers. If you got thoughts or topic ideas you want to share, you can hit us up at PlatformersPod on Twitter, or you can hit us up individually. I am at Ribnax, RIBNAX on Twitter.
I don't tweet that much, but you can find me on Twitter at TheJawaJosh. And if you want to see all the cool video essay stuff I work on, go to youtube.com/braintap.
You can find me at Shrives93 all over the internet. I keep posting pictures of this kitten, so if that's something you're into,
people like the cats
by all
on
means,
the internet.
You will find out its name very soon, as I do not know what it is yet.
Cool. If you would be so kind as to throw us a review on Apple Podcasts and send us a screenshot of your review. We still have some codes for Dark Deity on PC and the soundtrack. What?
I got it. I feel the same way about MOBA mice that I do about like the Elite controller, where they have the triggers on the back of the controller. Like my brain can't wrap my head around it.
It could if you used it long enough.
You just got to commit to it.
I'm too old for this shit.
It's like a cold.
I don't need those buttons. I've been fine for 26 years. You know,
but you could be better.
It's fine.
Hey, gaming is good, but it could be better.
Mm-hmm. It's a mouse that can't hurt you.
Kids, get out of here.
It's like a cold pool. You just got to jump in, bro. It'll get better.
I got the back button attachment for the PS4, and it sucked.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to drop $150 on an Elite controller. I'm not dropping $150 on an Elite controller. Can't do it.
Then just buy a $30 mouse.
I look at the back of that thing, and it gives me anxiety. Like, immediately. I'm just like, I can't do it. Same with the MOBA mice. I can't do it. It looks like too much... There's too much going on in too small of a space.
Can't hurt you. Oh, man.
That's it. That was my moment.
That was your moment. And now it's gone. So, but if you hit us up, review the show on Apple Podcasts, and send us a screenshot on Twitter, then you'll be able to score one of these sweet codes for Dark Deity, which is a game that I talked about, I think last week or the week before, that is very much like Fire Emblem on PC. This code is for Steam, and you also get a code for the soundtrack. So go ahead and do that and claim it for yourself, because it's pretty fun. Thanks so much for joining us. From everybody here at The Platformers, we hope that you have a wonderful week, and stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.